tonight in free agency. So I'll just, let's start with you, Wendy. What do you think?
It's obviously surprising in the moment, the timing, but this has been coming for the rest of this week. It's been a topic of conversation amongst top NBA players for a few days, but you never know whether Durant's actually going to go through with it. It's such a major thing. I think there are a couple of things right now that I just want to say in the instant wake of this news. Number one, it appears as if the Brooklyn Nets are going to honor the request and try to find a trade for Kevin Durant. And I will tell you that teams have been working on for this contingency for the last few days. They will hit the ground running. It would not be surprised to me if it happens relatively soon. The second thing is, I believe this will also mean Kyrie Irving will potentially be on the trade market as well. I believe that they will probably trade both of them. How that can be worked out and how that all play out. The Nets didn't want status quo. They're not going to have status quo.
No.
And I think we're going to see a pretty significant power balance. Kevin Durant is one of the top 3 or 4 players in the league. This will dramatically affect the balance of power in the NBA. It will dramatically affect how next season and the next few seasons will play out.
Kevin Durant is one of the 10 or 12 best players in the history of basketball. He's signed for the next 4 years, and he's about to be traded to another team. There are very few moments in the NBA, history of the NBA, frankly, that are bigger than this. When you talk about players of this magnitude, even at 34 years old, to be a player of this caliber, changing teams, it is a seismic moment in the league. To Brian's point about a change in the power balance, wherever Kevin Durant goes, he's not going to go to a team, in theory, that's completely devoid of assets once they trade for him. He's going to go to a team that's going to be able to contend for a championship. And we spent all week talking about the Brooklyn Nets and where they're going to be in the East. They get good players back. They can still be a pretty good team. But wherever Kevin Durant goes, they're going to be one of the 3 or 4 teams that has a chance to win the championship. And guys like this just are not traded very often. When Anthony Davis was traded a few years ago, that was a big deal. That's nothing compared to Kevin Durant being traded.
Dan, because he's got 4 years on his contract, his value is extraordinary because most players, star players who force trades only have a year or 2. So trading for him is trading for the rest of his prime. The other thing I'm going to say is that the Nets the Rockets have control of the next 4 Nets drafts. They either have the picks themselves or swap rights. It does not behoove the Nets to tank, to go all the way down because they don't control their draft. So when the Nets are looking for this trade here, as you think about teams that they can go to, they're going to want, in the interim snap here, my opinion, talking to people around the league, they're going to want players that can help them continue to be a competitive team now.
And to Brian's